More children are getting involved in violent and brutal crimes.
A new study by the Criminal Justice Institute shows kids charged as adults rose 76% last year in Indiana.
Both Voorhies and Wilber say they spotted a suspicious man near Freedom Bridge around 2:15. Meanwhile, the timestamp of Libby and Abby's recording on the Mononhai Bridge is around 2:13. In real distance, these two spots are about half a mile apart. That's a tight window, practically sprinting speed if the same individual is to be in both places so close together. Here's where our plot thickens. If Voorhies and Wilber weren't where they said they were, they could use this discrepancy to concoct the story of a mysterious man to draw suspicion away from themselves. If, hypothetically, they stayed on the bridge just a bit longer, they'd have a real opportunity to cross paths with Libby and Abby, and no one would be the wiser. The timeline is the first clue that something might be off.
Numbers from the Indiana Criminal Justice Institute show kids being charged as adults were up more than 180% in 2023 compared to 2021.
Next, let's consider the descriptions provided by Voorhies and Wilber, which shift over multiple accounts. Voorhies first says the suspect has dirty blonde hair sticking out of a hoodie and appears to be in his 20s or 30s. Then, she changes it to curly hair, a square jaw, and brown eyes. Wilber can't decide if the man's jacket was blue or black, just that he was very tall. These inconsistencies might be a deliberate diversion. Keep authorities guessing about a phantom suspect, while the real culprits, Voorhies and Wilber, remain above suspicion.
One possibility behind these numbers?
When they go home, are they being inspired by their parents? Are they being empowered by their parents?
Then there are the social media timestamps. Wilber claims she posted photos on her Snapchat story. Libby sees the post and messages Wilber, asking if they're still at the bridge. Wilber replies they've left about 10 minutes ago, suggesting she and Voorhies are long gone by the time Libby and Abby arrive. But in our scenario, what if Wilber posted that on purpose? Maybe the intent was to bring Libby and Abby out to a more isolated place, then craft an alibi. We left ages ago. Look at this Snapchat. This cunning move could buy time and confuse anyone investigating. The storyline practically writes itself. A social media post lures the victims in, then carefully timed messages give Wilber and Voorhies a tight alibi.
The young people nowadays, they're going crazy. They need to stop all this stuff, though. All this violent stuff, and it needs to stop.
The phrase he gave off weird vibes is vague but evocative. It's enough to capture people's imaginations, especially when told by a couple of teens. This supposed uneasy feeling places a mental spotlight on the stranger. Yet no one else steps forward confirming they saw that same masked, odd man at that exact time. No independent witnesses can dispute or confirm the story. Voorhies and Wilber appear helpful, offering a tip about a suspicious individual, when in reality, it could be a cover for their own presence and actions.
You're watching a fight caught on cell phone video between two 13-year-olds. Pay close attention to the girl wearing the black jacket. She pulls a knife out of her back pocket and stabs and slashes Elisiana Valdez. Her mother, Cassandra, who was at the park, couldn't believe her eyes.
Are you stabbing my daughter?
In a twisted whodunit, the weird vibes line is the perfect red herring. After the tragedy, Voorhies and Wilber confidently point out photos released by investigators and say, yes, that's him. But remember, their descriptions keep shifting. If someone were inventing a suspect, latching on to any official image is a way to stay in control. Yes, that's what he looked like, ensures that suspicion remains fixed on a faceless figure.
BC RCMP have arrested 3 minors in a disturbing swarming attack on a 13-year-old girl that was circulated online. She was beaten in front of dozens of people, as most of them stood by and did nothing.
By volunteering new details every time they speak with authorities, details that don't quite add up, they stall the investigation. The more confusion they sow, the longer it takes to find answers, giving them cover if they were, in this purely speculative storyline, the real culprits.
It's hard to watch a teen helpless and surrounded, beaten to the point of unconsciousness. Today, RCMP announced multiple arrests.
They have reviewed the video and identified 5 aggressors.
So there you have it. Timing gaps. their stated timeline doesn't quite match official records. Contradictory descriptions, they can't keep a consistent story about the so-called bridge guy. Snapchat alibi. Social media posts become an asset, not just for bragging rights, but for establishing a false timeline. Misleading observations, they emphasize a suspicious man's odd attire, diverting attention from themselves. Changing stories, they appear eager to identify any suspect image that surfaces, controlling the narrative.
Mounties believe more than 30 young people watched the attack unfold, many recording it and taunting the victim. The victim's father, whose face we're hiding to protect her identity, says the 13-year-old was lured to what she thought was a party.
I'm f***ing sickened. To record that, laugh, spit at her, throw dirt on her, then f***ing leave her for all they knew dead?
Why would they do it? Peer conflict, perhaps a hidden personal vendetta, bullying situation, or jealousy fueled a confrontation that escalated into violence.
A criminologist calls it the power of group mentality that can particularly influence teens.
The reward mechanisms of kind of going along with a group, feeling whatever kind of rush or thrill is involved in those types of behaviors.
Thrill or dare. In darker fictional stories, teenage perpetrators might commit crimes for shock value or excitement,
as well as the mitigation of risk or perceived risk.
Misplaced revenge. Another possibility in a purely invented scenario is that Abby or Libby was rumored to have said or done something that provoked Voorhies and Wilber.
Police are saluting the only two in the crowd they say did the right thing.
Thank you. One phoned the police and one attempted to stop the assault. Of the 30 plus people that were standing around watching and taking video, you showed compassion and made the right decision.
The victim's father says she suffered bruised ribs and a concussion and trauma that may take much longer to heal.
This isn't just a fight that went wrong. This was an organized attack.